that immediately gives Wentz an easy touchdown. So it's 7-0, then it becomes 10-0. And they even onside kick to start the second half because they got nothing to lose. And they blow that, and all of a sudden, it's 28-14 early in the second half. And I thought, that's done, so I turn it off. I'm going to watch this other game. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the score on my computer, and I'm like, what?
Wait a sec.
What just happened?
That's what I was thinking, too.
Go back.
They gave up 23 unanswered points. Just when I thought it was safe to proclaim the Eagles' defense back, because that unit against Seattle, that unit against New England looked really good to me. It looked like it could hold up its end of the bargain. It was Carson Wince that I would have the least trust in. But yesterday, wait a second, Ryan Fitzpatrick went for 365 and 3 touchdowns?
Skip, he's capable. Skip.
Skip.
You remember how he opened the season last year with those back-to-back 400? He's capable.
Well, he had one of those Fitzmagic games.
Yep.
And I'm looking at all the projections, all the websites, and now everybody all of a sudden has my Cowboys like a 60% chance to win the division, and your Eagles 30%. And I'm saying, how can I justify
hold
that?
on, Skip, what other 10? Washington, the Giants.
Washington's getting a little bit of love because all of a sudden Washington came back to life running the football.
Yeah.
Their young quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, had a grand total of 10 QBR yesterday.
10.
Between
10.
guys
He's a
and
10.
They're just running wild.
Yeah,
10.
Yeah.
Woo. So suddenly they're a little tiny bit of a factor. So I look at the schedules and I say, do I trust my Cowboys this coming Thursday night to go up to Chicago and win? I don't. Honestly, I don't. They're still, yet again, a 3-point favorite at Chicago. Yep. They've been favored in every game the whole year except the one at New England. Just that game, and they covered that spread. So what to make of that? I don't know. I don't trust it because Trubisky looked pretty good in the fourth quarter against Detroit on Thanksgiving. So then it goes back to they get 10 days off to get ready for the Rams at home. The Rams found themselves yesterday, 34-7. Now, Kyler Murray had a pulled hamstring, and he probably shouldn't have even tried to go because he didn't have his legs, he didn't have his quickness. But still, the Rams looked like the Rams.
They looked like a real team.
Last year's Rams. So have they sprung back to life?
Now Jared Goff said, see, now you see why they gave me all this money?
Okay. So a week from tonight, the Eagles are back home
against the Cardinals.
To play the Giants, who have lost 8 straight games.
Oh, my goodness.
8 straight games. I don't know. Can Danny Dimes do a number on Monday Night Football? He had a decent game yesterday. It was
he lost 8 straight.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard Sherman and Gettleman gloat?
I haven't heard him at all.
We know why we got him. You should ask all the people out there what they think of it.
So they got Saquon Barkley, who you said was the best running back in football, and for about 3 games, everybody said Danny Dimes is the future and the answer, and I'm not sure about that. But now your Eagles get them twice.
Come on now,
Skip. Surely they can't lose that game.
Yeah, they can.
And then they have to close at the Giants. Could they lose that one? I don't know.
Come
They
on,
gotta go to
Skip.
Washington. Tricky game, maybe, kind of interesting. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, look, Skip, one to 2 games a year, maybe a third, Ryan Fitzpatrick says, man, you know what? I'm in the NFL.
Today's the day.
You know what? I'm gonna do something special.
Here we go. Come on, Skip.
Last year he opened the season, he was at Tampa, and he went to New Orleans and hung 40+ on them. And so he had back-to-back 400-yard games. Like,
oh,
like,
here we go.
Tampa
Here we go.
Do it. And then he all of a sudden I am Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's a reason why I've been on like 12 different teams.
When he's on, he's on.
Here we
He
go.
can light you up.
Okay. So my bottom line for my Cowboys is the one game left on the schedule
go.
that I have the most faith in them winning is, this is just me, at Philadelphia. I just believe they like to play the Eagles. I think they might have
They
the
like
Eagles
kicking
number.
that Eagle ass.
Again, they don't have anybody
We got
else's
your number.
numbers because they haven't beaten one team with a winning record so far. And yet, at that point, Philly may not have a winning record the way it's going right now.
Well, y'all
they can't have a winning
You
record.
guys ain't gonna have a winning record either because you're about to lose this week.
Okay.
You're about to
Well,
lose
you
this
could be
week.
right about
This
that.
week.
I am right. Ain't no could be. I am.
Okay.
Skip.
I'm
Come
looking
on,
at
Skip.
What happened yesterday, and it came all the way down to a play made by a guy you might know pretty well. It was a 2nd and 10 at the 13 in the second to last Eagles possession, and they were driving, and I thought they were going to score a touchdown, and that would have made it a very different game. And guess
Come on,
what happened?
Skip.
Wentz rolls out. It's Taco Sunday. Taco Charlton got him. It's a sack by Taco. He got him down. It was a fumble. Way to go, Taco. Remember Taco?
Taco
Taco Sunday.
We got about six sacks with the Dolphins.
Ex-Dallas Cowboys.
5.
Listen,
Y'all ain't know how to use Taco.
well, I think we.
I told
He
you,
finally got
y'all
something right.
got to
Skip.
Taco.
Skip.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, guess
Jim
what?
Bug in the
It
house.
is
Thank you for that
thanks
super
to your
chat.
Eagles, because I'm starting to think that the Cowboys somehow are even a little better than the Eagles, and I don't know how.
So
But
in other words, your Cowboys could possibly back into the division.
I just think they can win.
Look, I'll take it. I'll take it, Skip.
Skip. The Redskins the last game, and that may be the 2 games they win. And now it's up to you guys to take care of your business.
I'm thinking
on your
9 and 7. I'm thinking Eagles go 9 and 7. You guys will be 8 and 8.
Okay, well, right now they're 5 and 7, so they're going to have to win 4 in a row.
Running the table.
4
Running
in a
the
row.
table.
Really?
Running the table. Running the table. Running the table. Shut. Let me finish him up. Let me finish this
I'll
chump
take
up.
that for a case. Right
Eagles
now.
gone division hunting. I got it.
Are they?
You already owe me a couple of cases. New England lost.
Sit your ass down, Gannon. Sit your ass down. Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm actually on my regular Facebook page, Joe Boo Sports Report, Power of 4 shirt, Cowboy Joe Boo, and all those and stuff. If you really want to be part of the chat, because I just don't have enough eyes. I need more eyes, and there's so much stuff that I have going on. If you want to be part of the chat, go ahead and subscribe to Joe Boo Sports Reports, which is my YouTube channel. That way you'll get all my videos and everything else. And I've got the chat literally right in front of me, so that way I can comment and stuff on there. But shout out to Lawrence Ramon, Hugh Watson, Michael Allen Holt, Ed, and Suzanne. I'm not even going to try that last name. So I'm not going to butcher up your last name. So shout out to everybody who's here. We had a great time yesterday watching the Eagles lose. By no means does this make our team any better. But after the way we were trolled, and I mean, I'm sorry. Let's get open for business. Let's wake up the football gods here. Before I get on to all of the good stuff that is the Dallas Cowboys, I want to, Cowboy fans, we got to stick together. It's the world against us, okay? You know how it is. Here it is. Shannon Sharp is trying to now, justify the Miami Dolphins beating the Eagles. He's trying to say because Fitzpatrick, he always has a game or two like that, so he was due. Well, why couldn't it have been? Well, the Jets were just about ready to have a game like that, and they were due. Since Josh Allen had just come back, from injury, gave that team a lift. And that team has won 4 games, but we still hear that the Cowboys lost the Jets. I'm sick of that stuff. But here's the thing: we have Justin. Okay, my man Justin, a.k.a. Texas Sports Roundup, okay? We found out last week that he has heart issues. For real, heart issues where he's got 4 to 6 weeks left to live. His dream is to go to a Dallas Cowboys game. Also to meet Dak Prescott. And I've been talking with him and trying to work with him and everything else, and he's good with where he is. And at first, he just wanted to go to a game, but then he started thinking about it, and it's like, you know what? I'd rather actually donate the money to a homeless shelter. So that way, what we're doing lives on more than just me going to a game. And I've created a GoFundMe site for him, okay? Texas Roundup. Let me put that in the stream here. I'm talking with my man Barry about making sure that we can get a good seat for my man and have him part of tailgate and everything else, so that way he can have a really good experience. And any other money that raises beyond what gets him to Dallas, we're going to use to help his situation. Right now, his phone's going to be cut off. I think he said the 5th and all that, so I want to get him the money together to keep his phone so we have contact with him and see if we can send him to a game, as well as donate some money for a homeless shelter. So, instead of doing the super chats and stuff tonight, instead of doing that, go through and donate to the cause. I believe we're already up to $50. I just actually got it started. just got it started just a couple hours ago. In fact, about an hour before that. I've got the whole story of what's going on in a letter from him, explaining, his situation and stuff like that. So, Cowboy fans, let's look out for another one, okay? Another fan. And, what I always tell you guys is no matter what your situations are, there are thousands, if not millions of people that wish that they only had your problem. So let's go ahead and try and look out for a fellow fan. So speaking of fellow fans, you know, I get a lot of it doesn't matter what I do. Somebody is always going to bitch and moan about what I'm doing. You're wrong about doing this. Okay. Now, any of you people that are regulars on here, you know how me and Philly 500 roll. You know he's done plenty of videos with my picture on the front cover of it and everything else. You know he's trolled me, and he's gone through, of course, talking about the Cowboys stink. They stink. Okay, right? You know how that is. And when they won the Super Bowl, they were all running around here, just like a dog that has no control, just raising their leg up and peeing everywhere. Just peeing everywhere. That's what the Eagle fans did. And when they were all talking about how the Eagles were the best built team in football, best coaching staff and everything, and how much the Cowboys stink and everything, they've been in here, pounding their chest and stuff. So Philly is a true fan. And Philly, and he's my boy. And you can't say nothing bad about Philly. He's my boy. But his team stinks. And I enjoy going at it. Because here's the reality. Russell Wilson was pick 6. Uh-oh. I'll get to this game. This is actually crazy to even think about this. But I just wanted to let everybody know we're good. And if it ends up being that somehow, some way, the Eagles, the dumpster juice that they are, end up righting the ship and go to the playoffs, hey, well, I expect to get trolled by him. And if you guys honestly believe that me saying something to Philly or Philadelphia fans really dictates whether or not the Cowboys win, come on, man. Do you honestly believe I have that much power and control over the Cowboys? Let's get real here. But I just want to start off the show.
Touchdown! I dropped it! I dropped it! Good passes!
The Redskins.
This is crap!
Oh, so they get a break?
You put him on losing his stinking dog. Yeah. Unacceptable crap!
Cleveland got a break.
God, I want to fire him.
I'm going to say money.
Thank you, Dante.
He said, dude, change this to the voice change.
Yeah. You like a
So
voiceover
wherever the effects are. The effects.
Here's the
The
kick.
effects.
Maybe the most important one of the year
He made it.
for him.
He made it. Oh, wait. He made it.
6 to play.
Philly, he's crying. There's no crying in football, Philly.
Oh, they're gonna show,
Right down the middle. I mean,
about to show the kick.
Why is
Carson
it
fired.
Whoa, wait. You're about right. It's coming right
Nelson
now.
downfield.
He's
I
about-
dropped it! He dropped it! He dropped it! He dropped it! Nelson Aguilar dropped it! I don't even know if he did. John Don's fire Mike Grove, fire Jim Schwartz. They're trash.
They're trash.
Oh, Ertz just he had it.
Oh, man.
How does he drop
Oh,
two big pass? You have to catch that ball! Did anybody just watch? Am I the only person? Do I speak dog?
Yes, you do.
Rough, mother humper. Rough, mother humper. Rough, mother humper. Rough, mother humper. I mean, supposed to do? Ertz dropped the ball in the end zone.
Ooh, boy. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I just get a kick out of that because, man, he literally goes off on that. You see my boy Cowboys Crunk was also over here. And we had a ball. But, this is not hate or anything like that. This is not, where I'm going through and calling him names and this, that, and the other. This is just, listen, this is just rivalry talk, man. So, it's all good. Now, I got to tell you, it's crazy as bad as our team is. I'll be honest with you. Our team is trash. We are trash compared to the talent that we have on this team. We should be a lot better than where we are. When you think about, just think about this. Think about the Pittsburgh Steelers that lost their quarterback, okay? In the offseason, they lost Antonio Brown. Of course, they lost their bellwether back, and here it is during the season. They lost their best receiver. They lost their running back. And yet, they got a better record than us. It goes back to coaching. Now, I'll be honest with you. Right now, the way the Eagles are, like I said, we're trash. We're trash. I get that, okay? But at least we're trash. But when you have trash that's like out in a dumpster in August and the trash company is on strike, so they haven't been in to pick it up for a couple of weeks, and the dumpster is like overflowing with trash and it's heating up, you know what I'm talking about, right? And all of the juice and the liquid all just kind of run out the garbage and it collects in the bottom. You know what I'm talking about? That dumpster juice. That stuff that just stinks. That's just, we're the trash on top. But all that gooey, slimy stuff that goes to the bottom, well, that's the Eagles. They are dumpster juice, man. It's just nasty. Now, they got a cake schedule. They literally had everything served up on a platter. Here you go, sir. You have the Miami Dolphins. And yet, the Eagles, who got a takeaway on the 18-yard line, second play of the game. And if that wasn't enough, here's Miami comes at the second half and does an onside kick, giving them the ball at like the 40-yard line. 2 easy-ass scores. And you still lost to them. You still lost to the Miami Dolphins. And add to that, you also lost to that Atlanta Falcon team that's some garbage. You lost to Matt Patricia's Detroit Lions in your own house. Now, you got to play the Redskins. You got to play the Redskins. And the Redskins, all of a sudden, believe it or not, technically, they're not out of it. All of a sudden, even with their quarterback who had a 10 rating yesterday, they found a way to win a game. That's 3 games now that they've won. 3 games. Only 2 games behind Philly. How crazy is that? Now, the Giants now, we know the Giants, well, I don't even know what to call the Giants because, Danny Dimes, man, he needs to go to the bank and see if he can borrow some money because his stuff is just bad. He's just bad. So you might get those 2. You might. But ain't no guarantee on that one because the Giants always play you really well. So we have to now look at Jason Garrett. We have the Bears. We're favored by 3, but we're always favored. It's up against New England. You're hearing the right things from the players. The players are a little bit pissed off. Maybe they've come to the realization that nothing is just given to you because you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. That you got to go out and earn it. That you have to go out there and play football to win 4 quarters. Maybe at this point they look at this and say, you know what? We got a chance. We got an opportunity. We need to go out there and take care of business. Dak Prescott said, hey, you know what? Talk is not going to do it. What it's going to do is leading by example by going out there and doing it on the field. That's what he's saying. For each and every one of us to do all of the above. Now, we'll see if that's going to do the trick. I hope it does. Because you have, at least right now, a chance with 4 games to go. You got a beatable Bears team. I know that the Rams looked like the Rams yesterday, but it was against the Cardinals. And we know the Cardinals are some doo-doo. Right? The Eagles, man, I thought we were in bad shape. They're in just as bad a shape as we are. You know, they're ready to put their coach, who won the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago, on the hot seat. So we got a chance if we do better with coaching. But here's my worry. Here is my worry. Oh, God. If I had $1 for every time I've said this, and it seems like it's been right, Jason Garrett is a cockroach. He is a survivor. A cockroach, they say, you can drop a nuclear bomb on the place, blow up, kill all the people, but yet the cockroaches will survive. And that has been Jason Garrett. I mean, how many other coaches would go 8-8, 8-8, 8-8? Literally each year have 2 games where if I just win one of the last 2 games, I'm in the playoffs. Yet you lose 2 games to finish off the seasons. 2. Not 1, but 2. Imagine being the coach of a team and your starting quarterback goes out and you can only win 1 game out of 12. You know, when you look at, say, Pittsburgh, that lost their quarterback week 1. They figured out how to win 7 games. You look at Carolina, who lost Cam. Oh, Cam. They got that guy to win 5 games for them. You look at Jacksonville, who's having a bad season after paying Nick Foles $20-some million, gets hurt. Gardner Minshew, the man with the mustache, he comes in. He wins them some games and is now supplanted at the starter. But our fearless leader can have a quarterback like Brandon Wheaton on his roster for a year and a half and can't coach that guy. He can take a guy, Matt Castle, who was once a Pro Bowler, and can't coach that guy. He had Kellen Moore, garbage couple of games at the end, couldn't coach that guy. But yet Brandon Wheaton could go to the Texans and on a week's worth of practice, come in relief, win a game, then play the game the next week and win that one and get that team to the playoffs. Yet he survived. He survived. He survived last year when we started out not real good. Fired the offensive coordinator, fired the offensive line coach, still Jason Garrett. And this whole time, our owner basically saying, we understand Jason Garrett, he's got some faults. He'll make some mistakes. But, we believe he's the guy. I don't understand why you believe in him. I don't understand it. Maybe it's because you don't follow analytics. Because even I know if you don't win within 5 years, you don't win the Super Bowl. That's just the way it is now. It's not like the days of Tom Landry. You have him there for years and years and years. Right now, with these young guys that have a very short attention span, you lose them after 5 years if you're not winning. That's just the way it is. We have become the Cincinnati Bengals with Marvin Lewis as the head coach. That's the way it is. Here it is. You still believe that your kicker is doing good, even though he's actually 27th. 27th in the NFL. He's missed kicks in over half of his games. And that's our coach. Get some rest, Mark. The Cowboys don't. Hey, George, I got to do it, man. I got to do it. I'm a diehard fan that believe in, listen, misery loves company. So this is my chance to get it off my chest to bitch and moan about the Cowboys. Now, I don't expect a whole lot of things to change over the last 4 weeks, even though Jason Garrett says we're going to study what happens, we're going to get back to work, and we're going to learn from things, just like he always does. But if he is a survivor, what if we win the next 4 games? We go into the playoffs. Probably going to be playing one of these teams, Seattle, Minnesota. Both of those two right now are behind in their division. We have to play Seattle or Minnesota. and let's say it's Minnesota, and usually it's hard to beat a team 2 times in a season. Let's say we end up playing them at home. We end up getting a win against them. And then we end up going against, I don't know, San Francisco or Green Bay or New Orleans, you know. And what if we get lucky on one of those? I mean, we were close against New Orleans, close. And all of a sudden we're at the NFC Championship game. And then Jerry Jones, you know Jerry Jones, who changed his mind in a heartbeat, and who says coaching is his decision. Says, you know what, that Jason Garrett, he turned it around. You know, we were going to fire him. We still believe in him because he got us to the NFC Championship game. What if? Could that happen? Could that happen? You hope that Jason Garrett leads the Super Bowl and turns down the contract and give you all complaining ass fans the middle finger as he goes to the Giants? I wouldn't be mad about that. AKA, you know what? I would not be mad at all if he won the Super Bowl and left and gave us the fingers. Fine. Here's what I'll say. It will be in spite of Jason Garrett, not by Jason Garrett. Little touchdown, sign him to a 2-year contract if we get to the Super Bowl. That's the thing that scares me, man. I've said it. I've said it before, man. I've said it before. You know, Cal Exploriana? Okay, I guess that's how it is. Man, I want to go to the Super Bowl and see the Cowboys too, man. I'm sick and tired. You know how many times I've seen the freaking New England? I've seen the Eagles twice. I've seen the Giants twice. Man, this shit hurts. It hurts seeing all these other teams out there and not the Cowboys, man. Come on. But let's go on. I actually want to bring this up because this is actually pretty good because Jeff Kavanaugh, he's on YouTube. You know, YouTube's getting crowded. You know, all the people that have the benefits of actually working with the Cowboys directly and stuff, you know, they're on Bleacher Report and things, you know, Mike Fisher's and things like that. You know, they've got the ear and the spotlight and stuff, and now they're coming to YouTube. You know, it's great. It's getting kind of crowded here. You know, it used to be wide open, and we had plenty of space to kind of roam and everything else. But we're getting more and more competition, and that means we got to be up on our game, too, so that way we can compete with the guys that are there at the Star. But Jeff Kavanaugh was talking about my quarterback. And this is actually kind of spot on. Because what you hear with most talking heads is, well, you know, I don't know about signing Dak Prescott because, you know, the Cowboys, you know, they're not winning. You know, they got this quarterback and stuff, and he's doing this, that, and the other, and they're losing games. You know what's interesting is we hear the Eagles talking about how bad the receivers are. Oh, they dropped it, like Philly says. Would you believe we had 30 drops this year? 30 freaking drops. 30. That's a lot of drops. Imagine if we caught half of those. Mark, stop whining about everything, geez. Hey, Randall Thor, shout out to you. I know you used to hang out on Katie Calls It's line and stuff. Man, I'm going to whine. Yeah, I'm going to get some wine, some crackers with that wine, you know, and some cheese. That's what I do. I whine, I bitch, and I moan. But let me play Jeff, and you guys decide if he has anything to this.
So Dak Prescott is still 4th in the league in QBR right now. The top 5, Lamar Jackson. All hail the king. King Lamar. God, I love watching Baltimore
MVP.
play. Pat Mahomes has moved up to 2nd.
Although he's not thrown a lot the last couple games.
And then Deshaun Watson. That's the top 5 QBRs in the league. This should be an absolute breakout party for Dak. We should be talking about how the Cowboys have transitioned to a no-doubt throw-first team, and they've got a franchise quarterback, and they're in good hands forever. That should be the narrative of this season, but it's not, which is opening the door for people to be like, see what happens when you lose your identity of being tough? You're not running the ball. You're not tough. So now we have to look at it and be like, oh, you throw it first now, and now you're 6-6. Now your team's bad.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If we at the beginning of the season said, you know what, Dak Prescott, he's going to throw for 5,000 yards. He's going to have over 30 touchdown passes. He's going to lead the NFL in yards passing per game. That Zeke Elliott, he's going to be playing the whole season, no suspensions or anything like that, okay? And that Amari Cooper was going to be a top 5 wide receiver. You would have said, oh my God, let me go ahead and buy a ticket for the Super Bowl right now. That's what you would have said, because that's what I would have said. I would have said, I said, get out of here.
You're going to change your name? I appreciate it, because you know I'm dyslexic, and when I look at something like that, it's just like, is it Cali Expolorina? What the F?
Okay. You would have been saying, let me get my Super Bowl tickets. But go on, Jeff.
You should have gave it to Zeke more. Well, let's talk about what's actually happening this year. What's happening this year, the biggest problem that the Dallas Cowboys have, the thing that is 100%
Jason
ruining
Garrett.
everything for Dak,
Jason
is
Garrett.
the fact that they can't force a turnover to save their lives, and probably even more than that, they have the worst special teams in the league. Now, because of that,
worst.
bad punting, bad kick coverage, bad punt coverage, bad field goal kicking, everything. Special teams are
Every
terrible.
damn
So
thing.
what does that mean? Well, it means that the Dallas
Follow
Cowboys,
now.
I went over to, I believe I got this at Football Outsiders. The Dallas Cowboys have the worst average starting field position in the entire league.
In the whole
On
freaking
average, where they
NFL.
start with the ball, the worst in the league. The teams that are the best in the league, you guessed it, the teams with good defenses. The New England Patriots, the San Francisco 49ers, they start with the best field position. The Cowboys are dead last. Now,
Last.
you start there. Then you go down to, okay, how often do you take the ball away? Obviously, you're bad at kick returns, you're bad at punt returns, you're bad at kick coverage, punt coverage, you miss a bunch of field goals. 4th fewest takeaways in the league, worst starting field position in the league. So, what's going on with the offense? Well, the offense is fine.
They're fine.
Better than fine.
Great.
Even. The offense, when you go to yards per drive, second in the league, behind only the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get the ball, how far do you move? Cowboys are second in the league. Second best offense in the league.
Yep.
What about points per drive? They're 4th in the league in points per drive.
4th in points per drive.
You're a top 5 offense. Top 4 for sure. But somewhere in that top 4 is where your offense ranks in terms of what you do with the ball once you get it. And you're doing that despite the worst starting field position in the league and the worst kicker in the league. The offense is very good. It's very good. You keep giving the ball back to people because your kicker can't make a field goal, so now they got a short field and they score points. Then you let up a big punt return. Then you miss another field goal. It's the story of the Cowboys season, is that everything in the world is conspiring to convince people that Dak Prescott's not the truth. Dak is the truth. Top 5 in QBR.
Top 5.
Second most in yards per drive in the league. The one that's insane is 4th most points per drive in the league, considering that your starting field position is like 10 or 12 yards behind some other teams. I got to go 10 yards further, 12 yards further on average to get in field goal range. I got to go 10 yards further, 12 yards further on average to go score a touchdown. And yet you're getting the 4th most points per drive. Dak Prescott is killing it. He is awesome. This offense is very good. And
Very
their starting
good.
field position, their special teams, their inability to turn over the ball are convincing people that, oh no, this whole throwing the ball thing isn't working for the Cowboys. This is bad. No. Everything else on the team is ruining it for Dak.
Everything else
It's
stinks.
supposed to be a party. It's supposed to be a Dak party all year, but we can't have our Dak party because the rest of the team is failing. So we'll try again next year with new coaches. Make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Check 105.3thefan.com.
All right, so Texas Roundup breaking news, Mark. Look at GMF page. What is GMF page after this? What is GMF page, and what's the breaking news? It
Thomas Garrett, thank you for the super chat. The shirts have not come in yet. I'll check on that for you. Make sure you have it before Christmas.
Okay. All right. So, interesting. So, everybody who's saying, offense is trash. It's trash. It's trash. But think about this, because how many times do you guys remember seeing, it seems like the 15-yard line is where we always start drives. How many times have we seen the Cowboys go for a 96-yard drive? Okay? It's just unbelievable. Oh, GoFundMe. Duh. Okay, I'm sorry. You put letters up there. I'll check it out. But we want to go ahead and always look at the quarterback and say that the quarterback, he sucks. So that's why we're not. No, you can't get a takeaway. We haven't had a takeaway in the last 4 freaking games. The last 4 freaking games. Think about this. People don't want to say this, but right now, Tom Brady is not Tom Brady anymore. Tom Brady finally looks like a dude that's over 40. His numbers are way the hell down. It's that defense of theirs that's taking care of business. The reason they beat us, let's be honest here. Let's be honest, because, see, people keep saying, you lost to the Patriots. No, our special teams lost to the damn Patriots because the Patriots ended up blocking a punt, getting an easy touchdown. It wasn't that they ran up and down the field all over the Dallas Cowboys. No, it was the fact that their coach knew that our special teams stink. Our special teams ended up being the difference in that game, giving up that easy turnover. And when you cannot take the ball away, understand this. This is where people are so stupid. You don't understand. I'm getting mad here because people don't seem to understand what a takeaway does for you. A takeaway is literally the difference of as much as 14-point swing in a game. A 14-point swing in a game. It's giving your offense an opportunity extra when the defense isn't ready. Because what normally happens, defensive guys, we're sitting on the bench, we're talking to the coach. Okay, all right, when they get the ball the next time, here's what we're going to be doing because we're going to be out there. We're drinking some Gatorade and stuff. We're talking about this. Okay, they're going to have the ball on the 25-yard line after the kick and everything. We'll be ready for that. All of a sudden, boom, defense, what? Oh, where's my helmet? No, that's not my helmet. Oh, okay. And you're running out on the field. And this is the opportunity that the offense now goes deep because people aren't ready. They're not in a position. We might not have all the guys on the field that we need. And instead of them getting a score, then all of a sudden you get an easy score. And once you get that going, you get some momentum rolling. You get some excitement on the sideline. You start to feel it. Think about that Ram game when we fumbled the punt. We were going second quarter like gangbusters in 2017. We were ready to rock and roll. That game was almost over, and we fumbled the punt on our 15-yard line. The Rams get an easy score. All of a sudden, they're feeling good, and then the onslaught was on. And we get blown the hell out. But we don't get those advantages because the defense cannot take the ball away. And when we do get a stop, our special teams are special. You don't get return yardage. You don't get good position. Or you get a penalty and it's even worse. And that makes a difference on your team. And then your defense has a hard time stopping running backs. From the Ram game in the playoffs last year to now, our defense has been gutted by running backs that have slowed down the games, given our offense less opportunities, and have allowed other teams to score. Think about this. Pretty much, we have to score 30 points to win games. That's all you need to know. We have to score 30 points to win games. That's not the way you make it to a Super Bowl. And that's not on the quarterback. You can't expect a quarterback every week to be winning 30 points games. Boley, I agree with you. If I was Dak Prescott, listen, you know what? I'm your quarterback. I have given you 3.5 years plus getting chump change. My offensive linemen, to a man, every single one of these offensive linemen in front of me are making more money than I am. Every one of them. Every one of them. Hell, some of the backups are making more money. Oh, wait, I tell you what. Let's go here. Let me do this. Let me ask you something. If you let's say you're working at your job. You get paid $10 an hour. Everybody else gets paid $50 an hour.
Junebug in the house. Thank you very much. Oh, don't get me started on the rest.
Let's look at this. Okay, so Tyron Smith, $15 million. Zach Martin, 14. Amari Cooper, 13. DeMarcus Lawrence, 11. Travis Frederick, 10. Robert Quinn, 7. Zeke Elliott, 6. These are cap numbers. Byron Jones, 6. Sean Lee, 6. Randall Cobb, 4.5. Jason Witten, 4.2. Lyle Collins, 4.2. Jeff Heath, 2.9. Van Der Esch, 2.6. Michael Bennett, 2.6. Jalen Smith, 2.5. Chris Jones, the punter, 2.3. Cam Fleming, yeah, that turnstile, human turnstile, 2.25. Malik Collins, 2.2. Joe Thomas, 2.2. Oh, here we are. Dak Prescott, 2.1. The most important position on the field, and your punter makes more money than he does. And that is a raise from the $680,000 that he made the first 3 years each year. So if you know that I haven't gotten paid anything, I've only made $4 million in 4 years, and I hope that I can end up getting a good contract. Would you go ahead and risk running down there, running the football? Because you've already been putting your neck on the line for 4 years. They're not putting their neck on the line. They're not showing you any job security at all. And I know people will say, well, he's got an insurance policy. He's doing endorsements. Do you think if he breaks his leg and can never play again that he's going to be still getting those endorsements? That's fleeting. Unless he ends up having a long enough career, more than 4 years, and does something as in like a Super Bowl, he ain't getting that many endorsements. That will dry up. And when you look at guys a few years after football, after taking the abuse that they take, it's not all fun and games. It's not as glamorous a life as you think. So I don't know that I would be looking to run the football until after I had some job security. I mean, that's just me. Although I think Dak is a team player. I think Dak is on a mission to prove everybody wrong about him, because everybody said, oh, he's just a dink and dunker, skip. Dak trash guy, dink and dunk Dak. He's out to prove that he is the real deal, that he's not just a running quarterback. Well, it's idiotic. I'm supposed to feel bad for a player that makes $15 to $30 million in endorsements per year. Well, Hector, you don't have to. But see, here's the thing, buddy. How many people can do what they do? You're talking about being the pinnacle of your job, the pinnacle of your career. In a career field that the average life expectancy is about 3 years. And that's great that some guys will make that big money, but the reality is most of them don't. And a lot of them will be screwed up for the rest of your lives. I tell you what, I'll pull up this one here. Because this is the worry, of course, for the Cowboys. Marion Barber. This is where I'm kind of on the fence and just trying to figure this out. Because the Cowboys, it seems like every time that they've always had a big payday for somebody, it just does not seem to work out. Now, quarterbacks are different than any other position because if you don't got a quarterback, you ain't got nothing. You got to have a quarterback. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You must have a quarterback. And quarterbacks, maybe they're overpaid, but it's just the reality of it. There's only about 15 good ones in the world. And that's a fact. But Marion Barber, after the 2008 season, the Cowboys signed him to an astonishing contract. 7 years, $45 million with $16 million guaranteed. It was unbelievable. And this is the thing that I'm sitting here wondering because right now, I'm not saying Zeke has slowed down. I'm not saying that Zeke is not Zeke. I look at this and I say it's collectively. Zeke doesn't seem to have the burst, and the offensive line is not opening up the holes as well. And the Cowboys aren't being creative with how they run the football. Zeke pretty much is doing dives up the middle into brick walls and supposed to try to use them on screen plays, but that's another issue in itself. But the fact of the matter is running backs do not have a long shelf life. Marion Barber, the next year, who was a part-time running back, had about 900 yards. 2 years after that, he was no longer with the Cowboys. And what was left was a pile of dead money. And as you look through the Miles Austins, the Jay Ratcliffes, the Terrence Newmans, all of these guys that got big paydays, majority of them did not work out. The only one you can actually say probably worked well was DeMarcus Ware. He got the big contract. He played real well. He's got all of all the records. But when you think about Marion Barber, when you think about Jay Ratcliffe, who was a rat and decided I'm too injured to play until he got cut, and he miraculously got better and went to Chicago. When you think about Miles Austin, that you signed a guy who had hamstring issues to a big contract, he ended up not panning out. You signed Des Bryant. Des Bryant, after having 2 great years, ended up basically being injured and not panning out. Tony Romo got paid, and unfortunately, his body failed him. And so that's where you start looking and saying, yeah, do you pay Dak? Well, the reality is if you don't pay Dak, who are you going to have? Because you got to have a quarterback. So you kind of have to pay your quarterback. And the thing about Marion Barber is, and this is where football has the bad side, because if you look at Marion Barber right now, who is not that old, he's in bad shape. He had the whole issue with pulling a gun and everything else. You're talking about people who are playing in football that once they're done may not ever be able to work or do anything else. So the money they make in football has got to last them for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, a lot of them aren't prepared to have that kind of money. And basically, a fool and his money are soon departed, and they're flat broke. So I'm never against the player trying to get paid and being fair. But at the moment, what Dak Prescott has done in his career warrants a whole hell of a lot more than $4 million. And speaking of that, bringing that up, this is my worry now.
Chris Canmore, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that.
All hail the Zen Master. My birds lost the passion. I'm pretty disgusted. I don't care who wins the toilet bowl. Both teams have been hard to watch this year. Later, brother. Hey, man, see, that's a real fan. That's an Eagle fan that came in here with the super chat and basically says, congratulations, I'm out of here and stuff like that. But see, I don't mind fans like that. I love fans like that because, see, I expect to get trolled when we lose. I expect to. Cowboys Crook, man. I should have had you come over here tonight and be part of the live stream. I don't know why I didn't even think about that. But D-Law, I hope that this isn't that kind of situation with D-Law. Because when I look at this is something that I never, ever thought could happen. I wouldn't expect to see this. When we look at this list right here, we see DeMarcus Lawrence, right? 26 tackles, 5 sacks. We just paid him $20 million. He is 57th in sacks in the NFL. Let me say that again. DeMarcus Lawrence is 57th in sacks in the NFL. That's saying basically that there's 2 players on each team that are having more sacks than he does. Where I really didn't expect to see this is Taco Charlton, who didn't play for us first games, go to Miami and have the same number of sacks as D-Law, tied for 57th. Did you expect to see that? So, Taco, we just gave up on. Taco, he's not a player. I'm not saying miraculous Cowboys. I'm not saying 5 sacks is fantastic, but when you think of Taco, a guy that we said, not good enough. Taco, we can just let him go. We're going to cut that guy. But the guy you paid $20 million, they both have 2 forced fumbles. That's where you got to start saying, whoa. So, basically, we're on the chain for another 2 years of $20 million going to D-Law. And then after that, you can let him go. But I hope that next year is going to be a lot better than this. And this is the thing I worry about, because when I watch my Cowboys, I just don't see any enthusiasm. I don't see any passion. As I watched other teams, like, let's say Buffalo. Buffalo looked like they were excited about being there. Buffalo looked like they came in there ready to kick some ass. They were excited. They were having fun. As I look at the Dallas Cowboys, especially the coach, they don't look like they're having very fun. They don't look like they're very excited. They look like it's all just kind of business. It's my job I got to go to. Oh, man, the alarm clock went off. I got to get up and go to work. And I don't see passion out there. Is this just that I'm looking to get a big fat contract and that's it? Because when Taco, knowing that I need to be ready to play, waited to get that shoulder worked on. Nah, man, I screw your team. I'm not going to get this shoulder worked on until I get paid. And so many of these guys, it looks like they want to be anointed, bring out the anointing cream before they've done anything. Remember DeMarcus Lawrence talking about
Dallas fan 1997. Thank you very much.
That is the game on the 22nd on your birthday. Oh, wow. Let's hope they don't ruin your birthday, man. I'm hoping that they give you a birthday present. But do you guys remember when DeMarcus Lawrence was saying that he's going to get Michael Strahan's sack record? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, man. I got my money now. I'm gonna get Strahan's sack record.
You know what it is.
What
guys
is?
Get paid unless they don't give a F. That's what it seems like.
And then my boy Zeke, Cowboys Crunk pointed out to me too yesterday when he was here. I wish Cowboys Crunk was in the house. Oh, and let me do this too while I'm thinking about it. This is I told you guys about. Well, let me put the link here for the GoFundMe, and let me put that back up here. For Texas Sports Roundup, we're trying to help him out. He's got a heart issue. Basically, his heart is in overtime, and the doctor's basically saying that it's just going to conk out. That he's told me that he has 4 to 6 weeks or so, and he's hoping to actually go to a Dallas Cowboy game, and we're trying to see if we can make that happen for him. So instead of doing super chats, why don't you guys just do, if you do a $5 donation or something like that to the GoFundMe and stuff, it'll help us get it there. I'm going to send him some money this week because his phone's going to be turned off on the 5th. He doesn't have health insurance and things like that, and we're just trying to make sure we take care of one of our own and stuff. So that's the link I just clicked in there. Let me put it up here one more time. If you want to be able to help out, anything you can do will definitely help. But I look at Zeke. After Zeke had the big screenplay, ran for 20-some yards and all that, you know, Zeke is like, okay, I'm coming out. I need a blow. I need a blow.
Emmitt Smith never did that.
Thank you.
Well,
And
you're the one that pointed out earlier about the shoulder.
yeah, right. That's what Michael was like. Did Emmitt Smith? Yeah, because I was telling Michael that. He said, did Emmitt Smith do that? I said, wait a minute. Emmitt Smith separated his shoulder. He literally could not raise his arm, and he's out there and ran the ball for like 200 yards. And here it is, D-Law. No, I'm not getting my shoulder worked on until I get paid. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going on? But wait, you're not going to get it worked on? Whoa. Kevin Stevens. Wow.
Someone else donated too. So refreshed it too.
Wow. Kevin Stevens for $100. Julian Principal, $15. Gabrielle Vasquez, $10. Matt McGuire, $20. Junebug in the house for $10. And I put $20 in there to start. Wow. We're up to $175. Damn. Shout out to everybody who's been helping out. I know Joseph Heatherly is planning on donating some stuff that we can do for giveaways and stuff like that.
Get in touch with him about that.
Yes, he did. He ended up sending it to his daughter by mistake and not sending it to me. So it went to her house and came back to him. Bring back the flex defense. Well, here's the thing. In my mind, what the Cowboys, one of the problems is this. Take a look at a lot of these games out here. Look at these teams. They're not just running straight up draws, straight up dives, and, 5 routes. They're dialing things up. They're doing flea flickers. They're going through and doing reverses. They're doing screen passes.
Randy Stikes, thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate it.
You'll do some Facebook Live from the game in Chicago? Oh, cool. Well, Randy, I tell you what, email me at cowboysmark94, because what I can actually do is if you want to use your cell phone, I can actually have you going right into my system, and I can take your feed and actually put it in here and put it up on the box like I did with Philly 500 if you're interested. But bro, I saw the Bills defense huddle up with the head coach. Oh my God, yeah, that's kind of crazy when you actually see the head coach talking to the players. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. But well, but sometimes you sit here and you start thinking, it's like, am I just not like speaking English?
Does anybody know? Did anybody just watch? Am I the only person? Do I speak dog?
Yes, you do.
Rough, mother humper. 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 I mean,
This is where I was saying
what is
earlier.
Carr supposed to do? Urge
Okay,
drop the
should have
ball
set
in the
that
end
field goal
zone.
earlier. Now the only thing.
Yeah. So, right. Was I speaking dog? Because sometimes you think that they just don't understand this. But you see creativity with other teams where they're going through and they're doing things to get you off of balance. They are studying. They are going in-game analytics where they realize, you know what? Here's what's been working so far. We need to do more of the same thing over and over again. Or we need to just kind of scratch that play because it's not working. The fact that we had, and I know we've gotten rid of Scott Linehan, but let's just go back to the Eagle game last year. When Amari Cooper, who's in the huddle, is basically saying, look, we got to stop with the stop route. They're squatting on it. We've done it 5 times. It's not working. I can go ahead and fake it and go deep and we can get this thing. I know this is there. The players understand. This play calling you have, it stinks. It sucks. It's just terrible. I would, if it were me, why don't the Cowboys do this? Let's try something different. How about we just come out and we go no huddle? Hurry up offense. Let Dak Prescott call it up. You know what? If you want to see if Dak Prescott is the guy you want to pay, You know what? Go ahead and do like the Buffalo Bills in the past used to do with the K-gun offense, where they literally were no huddle, where Jim Kelly's calling all the plays. It's fast. It's wearing the defense out. You got enough stallions. You got enough horses that can run a track meet that will wear out a defense. Make them chase you down. You got 2 quality running backs. You can exchange them. Okay, let Zeke go a couple plays. Okay, let's bring in Tony Pollard and just keep on moving this thing. Be different. Don't be the same over and over and over again. We got to try something different. If we don't, we're just destined to fail. So with that being said, guys, it's kind of late. And these mother humpers are weak against the pass. I've been screaming this. We all been screaming it, boy. We've all been screaming this. But the Cowboys, they don't listen. And that's the thing that's ridiculous. It's just like we can all see what the problems are here, but yet here we have the team saying, oh, well, Maher's still a good kicker. Oh, we still believe in Jason Garrett. He's the guy that can turn this thing around. What the hell in Jason Garrett's DNA tells you that he can turn around? What's the score of the game here? Oh, Seattle just scored a touchdown there. Okay. And that's where you look at it and say coaching can be the difference because we're not far off. We're not far off. We are in these games. We don't exactly, I understand. I would like to have a 350-pound trash can full of dirt or a 350-pound dumpster that we can just put right there in the middle. But we have enough players. If we could get some takeaways, if we could go through and just get some better field position from special teams, that's all it would take to turn this thing from being a team that looks inept to all of a sudden winning games. But Derek Young, you are right. We are stuck on stupid ass ways. Amen. Let me pull that back up. Philly at 2,500. Oh man, his team is dumpster juice. Maher is freaking trash. Monday Night Football game is hitting. Your 8-year-old could call plays from the Xbox, yeah. And that's the difference, James. And that's where we hope, if we do finally get rid of the nightmare that is Jason Garrett, that we can get somebody who will actually be able to call plays, who will actually have the autonomy to build the team to either win and lose by his hand as opposed to all these other hands that are in there. The Cowboys were smart enough to recognize that they were screwing up with contracts and turn that over to Stephen Jones. They were smart enough. I'll share that one more time. This is a GoFundMe link here. Let me pop that. There we go. Right there. Bam. They were smart enough to realize we're not drafting quality players, and you put Will McClay there. You did those things, which have now got us so we're not in cap hell anymore. You've gotten us so now we get talent on the field. Why don't you take the same approach and get a coach that knows how to coach and let the guy coach? Let the team win or lose by that guy's hand and not this whole collective bullshit where Jerry Jones, listen, you've done a hell of a job building this franchise. You've done a hell of a job getting the best entertainment in the world. The fact that you can sell tours to the Star as well as to the stadium is just unbelievable. The fact that you've got a 60-yard freaking television stream, okay? But nobody can do everything. You are not the coach on the damn field and shouldn't be the damn GM. Get some people in the position to do what needs to be done. That's all I'm asking. So with that being said, it is time to turn off the lights because I got to go to my day job tomorrow. And also, too, I've got to go build, I got to take a bathtub and turn it into a shower so that way I can take care of my mother-in-law. She's going to have knee surgery and she's going to have to move downstairs. So I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. In fact, I'll be on the road while we're playing against the Bears. So I'm not sure where I'll be watching the game just yet, but I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here, being part of the show. And if you can, see if you can help out Justin. We want to send him off hopefully see if we can get him to the Eagles game, which is only 3 weeks away, so we don't have much time to work on that, and help him out because he definitely needs some help, as well as help some others with a homeless shelter. I'm Mark Holmes, and I will see you guys first thing in the morning with Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.